Okay. Lovely. Got a few more people joining now as well. Hi. Excellent. Hi, if you just joined, we are going to dive in, starting from standing today. So if you want to come up to standing position, we're trying to do a little bit more chest opening today. So essentially trying to focus more on the upper part of the body. So the chest opening, which means we're trying to work back bending in a way, but upper back. So trying to not use the lower back so much, although it is easier said than done. And then we will try and balance that out. We'll try and do a little bit of core work afterwards. So lower part to try and strengthen that, which we obviously do in the mornings as well in our 15 minutes, but we'll try and balance it out a little bit today. But the chest opening, hopefully going to help you just gain a little more strength here underneath those ribs, lift the chest and get those shoulders rolling back and down and hopefully help. So especially if you've been sat at your desk all day today, it's going to help this one. All right, so standing nice and tall when you're ready. You might have feet hip width apart or feet together, up to you. Just taking the hands down, and if you can, just have the palms facing upward or facing forwards. So elbows squeezing in a little bit. And as you do, just squeeze the shoulder blades together lightly. You can lift the chest at the same time, lift the ribs as well. And then you might lift the chin a little. You might close the eyes. And then just take a couple of breaths just to check in and see how that feels to start with. It can feel a little strange. Notice where your posture is at the moment. Perhaps reminding yourself of how your posture's been today. And then just start to make the breath a little deeper with that inhale, a little longer with the exhale. And you might feel the chest expand a little bit more with that inhale. You might feel the shoulders soften with the exhale. And as you're standing here with the palms facing forwards, just notice where you feel any tension or tightness. And sometimes it can come from the upper back or the shoulders or even into the neck. We don't necessarily need to change anything just yet, but just be aware of it. And hopefully finding that you're building a nice steady breath. That longer, deeper inhale. That longer, stronger exhale. Hopefully feeling the chest rise and fall. And when we do start to get into chest opening, it does make it a little bit harder to breathe. So we are going to try to just get time to think about the breath a little bit more when we do start getting into these chest openers. Lovely, well done. Just opening the eyes when you're ready, checking in with your posture again. And with the palms facing forward, start to take the hands out to the side and then reach them all the way up to the sky. Looking up, you might touch the thumbs together so the palms still face forwards. And then that exhale to just come all the way back and out to the side. If you can, try and take the hands behind your back, maybe touch the fingers. Inhale, reach them all the way up and up again. You might be able to cross the palms this time, doesn't matter which way, and then look up as you do. Exhale, going all the way back and down and maybe behind the back. Just go as far as you can. Lovely. One more. Nice big inhale. Reach up, lift up. Again, maybe switch the cross of the hands, looking up. And that exhale to come all the way back and to center. All right, lovely. Let's taking that right palm up and over. Just get a nice side stretch here. So leaning over. As you do, press your right hip out to the side so you get that deeper stretch. Leaning into the right hip, into the outside edge of that right outside edge of the right foot or even the right heel. Yeah, nice, well done. Lovely. And then coming all the way back up to center, switching over, left arm up and over. Again, press that left hip out, press into that outer left edge of the foot so you get that deeper stretch. Lovely. And coming all the way back up to center. Well done. Let's try open the chest. So take the hands back behind you. If you can, you're going to clasp the fingers, keep their elbows bent and try to take their elbows up as high as they'll go. Chest will want to roll forwards or shoulders forwards, but we can correct this. So start to take the hands out as far as they'll go. Almost straight arms, doesn't need to be completely straight. And now start to lift the chest, and as you do, take those hands back. Looking up towards the sky, just notice how much you lift the chest. Maybe those hands drop down slightly, see if you can keep them up. Feel that squeeze of the shoulder blades together. And now press down into the feet, squeeze the glutes. Keep looking up, maybe lift the chin, take a breath. Work, well done, nice and slow, you release. All right, switch the cross of the fingers, we're gonna go the other way. So again, take the elbows out and away. Then start to take the arms a little further away, almost straighten the arms, lift the chest, look up. Slightly different in that we've just got clasped the fingers slightly differently. Just maybe getting into the upper back, the other side. Take a breath. Then exhale, release and relax. All right, hopefully feeling the shoulders warmed up. But let's go into our sun salutation. So top of the mat when you're ready. Feet together or slightly apart. Sometimes helps with the hips if they're slightly apart. And then when you're ready, taking the arms all the way up. As you do, we're going to take the arms a little bit wide. We're going to lean back, but as you lean back, press into the heels so that you fire up the glutes, look after the lower back. Exhale, fold, soften towards the floor. Drop the head and just completely relax the upper body, little bend in the knees as well. Well done. Inhale, we're going to come up a little bit higher, hands to the thighs, and really squeeze the shoulder blades together. Send the shoulders to the hips as well, and then try to look up. Good. Exhale, hands go down, feet all the way back to plank. We're going to try to get a chest opener with our plank as well. So fingers turning out slightly, shift the chest forwards, look forwards, and then when you're ready, lower to the ground. Taking the feet nice and wide, taking the hands wide as well, onto the fingertips, elbows over the wrists. When you're ready, squeeze the shoulder blades together and start to peel chest belly off the ground. Send the shoulders down the back, look up to the sky, and then send your front ribs forwards, 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 all the way down. Hands go in, tuck the toes, tabletop position, or straight into your downward facing dog. Well done. We'll try to find length in our down dog. So trying to press through the hands, stretch out down the sides of the body. Think about those hips going up and back, finding length into the lower back. And just enjoying that stretch wherever you need it. First down dog always feels a little bit clunky, but keep stretching out just wherever you need. Lovely. Nice steady breath. 2. Maybe a little bend in the knees. 3. Maybe try pull the belly to the back of the spine. 4. And 5, look forward, step the feet towards the front. Again, feet might be hip width apart, hands to the thighs, lift the chest, shoulder blades together, look up. Exhale, fold down, completely relax, soften into it. Good, inhale, press into the feet, reach up, lift up. We're going further back, so take the hands back. As you do, press into the heels. Lovely, exhale, all the way back to standing. Let's go again, nice big inhale, reach up, lift up. Exhale, soften, fall towards the floor, drop the head, completely relax. Inhale, halfway lift. Coming up that little bit higher, shoulder blades together, looking up to the ceiling. And exhale all the way down. Into that plank position, chest forwards, look forwards or even up. And then down towards the floor, elbows in. Feet wide, again wide, hands if you can, elbows over the wrists. Shoulder blades together. Peel chest, belly off the ground. Starts to feel a little bit tight, so send those shoulders down the back towards the hips. Start to look up, feel the chest open, upper back muscles fired up, and then send your front ribs forwards, 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 all the way down. Well done, hands go in, tuck the toes, tabletop position or straight into down dog. 5 breaths here. All right, let's try and stretch out the lower back a little bit more. So with the feet a little bit wider, just for the first couple, toes turning out slightly, help get into the hips. You can always have a little bend in the knees. Start to send your lower back to the sky. So just starting to fire up the inner core. Maybe feel those inner thighs switch on a little. And a nice steady breath. You might feel like your back is slightly rounded. You want shoulders working away from each other if you can. Lovely. 3 more. 3. 4. And 5, good. Stepping forwards, feet towards the front. Nice halfway lift. Again, try to get the shoulder blades together, come up higher to help, shoulders to the hips. Exhale, fall down, relax. Inhale, press into the feet, reach up, lift up, take the arms further back, press into the heels, use the glutes. And exhale all the way back to standing. All right, let's get one more in. Inhale, reach up, lift up, press back into the heels, fire up the glutes. Exhale, fall to the floor, drop the head. Inhale, halfway lift, hands a little higher, shoulders towards the hips, shoulder blades together. Exhale, hands down, feet back, nice strong plank. Look forwards or even up to lift the chest, to make your plank a little harder. Elbows in, lower down. Feet nice and wide, take the hands wide as well, elbows over the wrists. Shoulder blades together, then peel chest, belly off the ground. And then start to look forwards. Send the shoulders down the back so those upper back muscles kick in. Fire up the glutes, lift the knees, and now look up to the sky. Feel the chest lift open. Now press your front ribs forwards, 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 all the way down. Well done. Hands go in. Tabletop position or straight into down dog. Well done. So you've done 3 sun salutations. Get us nice and warmed up. Get the breath going. Keep building in the body. Hopefully starting to feel that. Maybe starting to feel that you can stretch a little bit more. So you might press the hands into the ground. Send the shoulders to the hips. Find length through the arms, the armpits. Even all the way down the side of the ribs on each side towards the hips. Pressing the lower back to the sky. Maybe straightening the legs. Heels go back, calves go back. And then you might even be able to pick up through the kneecaps, get those thighs to engage as well, and then press them back. Lovely. Try and hold it here. Lots of engagement, but lots of length as well with that exhale. Lovely. 3, 4, and 5. Looking forward, step or jump. Nice halfway lift. Look forward, shoulder blades together. Lift the chest, looking up. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, press into the feet, reach up, lift up. Again, maybe press back into the heels. Take the hands further back, looking up. And exhale all the way back to standing. Woo, good work. All right, we're going to try and go a little bit more. We're going to get a little bit more of a flow, similar to what we do on a Saturday, but chest open in focus today. So toes turned out slightly, feet are hip width apart. You're going to bend the knees and sink down into chair pose. As we go into this one, we're going to try to fire up the glutes. You're going to press back into the heels, maybe the toes lift, and just start to take some of that pressure out of the lower back by trying to feel the glutes kick in. Have a little tuck of the tailbone, and it's only very subtle, so it's just activating slightly. And now hands onto the thighs, fingers turning in, and start to lift your chest. So you're trying to lift your ribs away from your pelvis. Now start to look up to see if you can lift the chest a little bit more. Well done. Press back into the heels. Good. Lift the chest up and away from the pelvis. And again, look up a little bit more. Well done. One more. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, shoulders down the back. Look up a little bit further. Good work. Inhale. And exhale, fall to the floor. Well done. Soften into the knees, the legs. Little lean into the toes and press the lower back to the sky. Front of the body fires up, just deepening that stretch into the lower back. See if you can straighten the legs at this point, so you get those thighs to switch on, so pull up through the kneecaps and relax the upper part of the body, arms, shoulders, neck. Take a breath. Lovely, well done. Hands go down to the floor. Let's see if we can get our halfway lift. So this is always tricky when you take fingertips to the floor, but you might bend your knees to help. Look forwards, almost like you're doing your chair position, but with your fingers on the floor. Press back into the heels to fire up the glutes, and then try to get the shoulder blades to come towards each other. It's quite tricky with fingers down, but give it a go. Lovely. Hands go down, feet all the way back position. Again, looking forwards, maybe looking up, and then lower to the ground. Well done. Take the feet nice and wide. This time you're going to try to take your hands back towards your toes if you can. You might even have the hands a little bit higher. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other and palms facing in. Press down into the feet, lift the knees, and then see if you can look up. This one's a little bit tricky, so give it a go. Take a breath. Exhale, release. Hands go in, tuck the toes. Tabletop position first, or straight into down dog. Well done. Just like your down dog, or just like your forward fold, think about pressing that lower back to the sky, then send the hips back. Deepen that stretch through the lower back. Engage the core. Take a breath. Lovely, well done. All right, from here, we're going to step our left foot forwards. Once you're here, push into the front foot and then coming up for your warrior one. Well done. You might take the hands all the way up, stack the hands over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. Get a little tuck of the tailbone as well. Just feel that hip flexor kick in. Might have the back heel nice and high. Lovely, well done. We're going to try to get our chest opener into our warrior one. So release the hands down. You might take them to the waist and then just start to squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Now start to lean forwards. And you're trying to fold almost at the hips here to help. So we're taking the pressure off the lower back. Now start to look up, but keep those front ribs forwards. Try and hold it here. Then to go a little further, and take the hands out in front. Well done, take a breath. So you've got quite a lot of weight into that front foot, back heel is lifted. Lovely, now try to lift the chin, look up a little bit further, and maybe take those hands up as well. Maybe straight arms, or you can bend the elbows, go wider. Lovely, inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, go up a little further with those arms. Good, 3 more. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, go further back with the hands. Good, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, further back. Good work. The last one. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. Take the hands all the way out to the side and then clasp the fingers behind you. This one's a little bit easier. You're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, send the hands away, and then lean forwards over that front foot. So firing at the front leg. Lift the chest, look up, but you're leaning forwards. So we're going much further forwards. Take a breath. Nice and strong into that front leg. Lift the chest and send the shoulders down the back. Well done. So they might feel like they're creeping up to the ears. Send them down the back to the hips. Send the ribs forwards. 1 more here. Good work. Well done. Exhale, release, coming back up for your usual warrior one. I'm going to try and open out here. So hands go up to the sky and then open out for warrior two. Yeah, lovely. Left hand forward, so you can drop your back heel down and then sink into that halfway, or warrior two. So sinking down a little bit lower if you can. Little tuck of the tailbone to protect the lower back. We're going to try and go for our sort of side angle pose here, but we'll try and make it a little bit more challenging with the chest opener. When you're ready, you're going to drop your elbow down, so left elbow onto your left thigh. Keep the left palm facing up. Well done. You can just relax the right arm to start with. Now, with your palm facing up on that left hand, you're going to try and send it towards the same direction as your toes. As you do, your left ribs will start to push forwards. You'll start to open the chest. All right, from here, you can then start to take that right hand towards the lower back and start to try to open the chest, looking up towards the ceiling. Think about tucking under with the tailbone. Take the pressure off the lower back, but keep the left ribs reaching through if you can. It's a little challenging. Yeah, well done. Good work. From here, you might try and take that right arm up and over. And you're almost looking for the hand to go behind the head. So trying to get it up and over. Yeah, you might even bend the elbow as well then. Look up to the sky. You might find you've got a little more space. Takes the pressure off the neck. Yeah, lovely, well done. Keep working those left ribs out, but at the same time, tuck under with the tailbone. This one's tricky. Press down into the right heel, looking up to the sky. Lovely. 5 breaths here. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep looking up. And 1. Good work. All the way back up, nice and slowly. Oof. All right, let's pivot around, do the other side. We're gonna go for our side angle here first. So pivot around, you want that right foot there, and get into your warrior two, sink down, and a little tuck of the tailbone. As you do, think about opening those hips nice and strong into the feet. Well done. Take a breath. Lovely, well done. Dropping your right elbow down and release the left arm to start with and go behind the lower back. All right, sinking down into those hips, right palm faces up, and then start to pivot on the elbow, send your right hand forwards. Well done. It's going to start to bring the right ribs out and forwards. Maybe start to look up to the sky as you send the left shoulder back. Sink a little lower, tuck under with the tailbone, open the hips. Nice and slowly, taking that left hand up and over, maybe behind the head, or open the shoulder a little by bending the elbow, looking up to the sky. Well done. Go a little lower if you can. Lovely. We'll do a count for 5 here. Take a deeper breath just where you are. Good work. Keep working those right ribs out. Here we go for the count of 5, 4, a little tuck of the tailbone, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Coming all the way back up. Warrior two, sink nice and low. Good work, well done. From here, we're going to pivot all the way back around. So if you can, just pivot all the way around, left foot forward, sinking down nice and low. Still got the other side to do. So when you're ready, take the hands forwards all the way down. Shift the foot back, so you're in a plank position. Now think about shifting the shoulders forwards, look forwards, drop your knees. We're going to go for a little bit more of a chest opener with our halfway lift, our half press up, or chaturanga. So if you can, send your ribs forwards, but try to take it out to the lower back. So you might do a little tuck of the tailbone, chest forwards, elbows back, and then lower down. Take the feet nice and wide, press down into the tops of the feet, knees lift. Take the hands back behind you, palms facing in, fingers towards the toes. Inhale, look up, lift the chest, take a breath. As much as you can. Good, one more. Well done. Release, hands go down, tuck the toes, tabletop position, and into down dog. Well done. Stretch out in your down dog. So maybe through the legs, through the back if you need it. So even if you're trying not to use the lower back, depending on if you've got an anterior pelvic tilt or a posterior pelvic tilt, you might find if it's more anterior that actually your lower back, you might be feeling it a little. It's much stronger and it's much easier to use those stronger muscles than it is to try and use the naturally weaker ones. So just default that we go to. So try stretch out in your down dog, lower back to the sky. Try and engage some of the front of the body. Lovely. Take a breath. Good work. All right, when you're ready, you're going to step that right foot forwards, going into our warrior one. So keep the back heel lifted. You're going to press into the front right foot and come up for your usual warrior one. Hands go to the waist to start with, and a little tuck of the tailbone, so you just get the left hip flexor kicking in. Lovely. Think about reaching those hands up, hands over the shoulders, shoulders stacked over the hips, and then maybe a little lift of the chest. Nice. Take a breath. Good work. We're going to try to open the chest a little bit more for this next one. So from here, just taking the hands to the waist, start to send the elbows back, and then lean forwards as well. So you're trying to create this diagonal line from the head all the way to the back foot. Now try to lift the front ribs away from your pelvis and then send the chest forwards. Little tuck of the tailbone if you need to. Well done. We're going to hold here and I'm going to try to reach forwards so it gets a little harder. So when you're ready, taking those hands out in front. Lovely. Palms facing up. Little bend if you need to. We'll make it a little easier. Good. Inhale, lift those ribs, lift the chest away from the pelvis. And then when you're ready, exhale, maybe take the hands a little bit higher. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the ribs. Exhale, take the hands a little higher. Lovely. A couple more if you can. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the ribs. Exhale, go higher. Keep looking up if you can. Lovely. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Little tuck of the tailbone. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good work. Exhale, when you're ready, release nice and slowly, hands to the waist. All right, from here, we're going to lean forwards even more and clasp the fingers behind you. Elbows squeeze together, then send the hands away. Shoulders pull down the back, so you take the pressure off the shoulders, the neck, and then leaning forwards. So get that weight into that right foot if you can. Hold it there. Keep sending the ribs forwards. A little tug of the tailbone if you need to, or fire up that right leg. Shoulders away from the ears, down the back. Lovely. 2 more breaths. Excellent. 1 more. Good work. Excellent. Nice and slowly release. Hands go to the floor. Right foot all the way back. Shift forwards and down. Again, you might lead with the chest. You might drop the knees. Try and get those ribs forwards. Taking the feet nice and wide. And again, slightly different up dog. This time, hands going out in front of you, onto the fingertips again, or you can have hands on blocks. And now get those elbows nice and high. So shoulders tend to dip in towards each other on this one. Elbows nice and high. And then slowly start to peel your chest and ribs off the ground. You might start to look up. And now send the shoulders down the back. It's quite a tricky one to do. You kind of just want to drop down, but keep sending them back if you can. Now send your front ribs forwards, forwards, forwards. Almost like you're dragging your hands to your hips as your ribs drag forwards towards your hands. So you can hold this one here for 5. Shoulders soft or pulling down the back, so a little more active. Hold it here for 5. 4, try to breathe as much as you can. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Exhale, release. Hands go in, tuck the toes, tabletop position. Take a breath. From here, it's going to start to lower the chest, ribs towards the floor. Look like we do with our cat-cows. Turn the fingers out to help you. Go wider with the hands as well. So a little wider than the shoulders. And then just pull your ribs towards the floor. Okay, trying to take the pressure out of the lower back. You're going to activate and tuck under with the tailbone slightly. I feel like your knees are pulling apart a little as well. And then melt your ribs further forwards, almost like you're trying to melt your front ribs past your upper arm. So forwards, forwards, forwards. Lovely. So if you can hold this here, give that little active tuck of the tailbone if you can. Hold that there for 5. 4. And when you feel the exhale, feel like the chest is trying to soften and melt forwards and down if you can. More forwards than down. Notice how it feels into the upper back as well. So upper back muscles maybe doing some work, but maybe not as much as when you're completely flat on the ground. Lovely. 2 more. Good work. Well done. From here, tuck the toes, go into down dog. Stretch out. Lower back to the sky. Take the pressure off the lower back. All right. From here, left foot steps forwards. As you do, drop your back knee down to the floor. Sink into that right hip flexor a little bit. And then just adjusting your hands. So you might take your hands further forwards. You might have blocks. So if you don't like being up on the fingertips, get your hands onto blocks. And then shifting forwards. So we get this stretch of the top of the right thigh into that right hip flexor. Sinking down. Lovely. All right. From here, just start to think about sending your ribs forwards. And to do that, we might look up or look forwards. So you might be looking down. Start to look forwards or even up. You're going to get a deeper stretch of that hip flexor, but it's not necessarily what we're trying to do on this one. So if you do want to shorten your stance, bring your knees slightly forwards, you might find that you can lift the chest a little bit more, or you might be getting that stretch of the hip flexor as well. Well done. Try to take a breath here. Think about how much further forwards the ribs are, shoulders pulling down the back towards the hips. Lovely. Take a breath. Good. Maybe tuck under with the tailbone. Take the pressure out of the lower back. Lovely. Well done. All right. We're going to try and get a little more of a challenging posture here. So just relax slightly. Notice where you feel the tension. It might be more hips, might be the chest, just find out wherever it is. All right, take the pressure off slightly. And then what we're going to try to do is bend the back knee. So you can either just pick it up, so pick the toes up and then try to bend in the knee. You might find that you need to shorten the stance. So you might just bring that back knee in slightly, then bend the knee, see how it feels. This one can be quite tight for the hamstrings, so just see how it feels. And sometimes you need to pick the knee up first, place it back down, and then lift the foot. Take a big go. Yeah, we got that. Yes, you got a bend in the back knee. All right, hopefully you know where we're going with this one. All right, from here, try to go into your furthest point. So you might start to drop that right hip down. Knee might go back a little bit further. Now come up onto your left thigh, so left elbow up onto your left thigh, and you start to turn and open the chest towards the right. Right hip flexor gets that stretch as well. And then we're going to bend the knee. Because we're opening out, you might even be able to grab hold of the foot. So see how you get on. So you really need to open the chest out. Think about that left knee going out a little bit further as well. And you can flex the back foot, so flex the right foot. Lovely. We want to check we're not dumping down into the lower back, which we might be. So I'm going to tuck under with the tailbone. I'm going to emphasize and deepen that stretch. So as you tuck under, this hip flexor might kick in. And you maybe not necessarily feeling anything into the chest just yet. Yeah, well done. I think most of you got it. Don't worry if you don't want to do the back knee, you don't need to. You can just leave it there and not fall over. All right. So from here, this is where it starts to get more challenging. Your right ribs are maybe out to the right. So you're going to start to bring your right ribs forwards and down. Moving forwards, almost like you're trying to straighten your chest back to center if you can. So right ribs move forwards and down. If you want to go a little further with this, again, take the pressure out to the lower back, tuck under with the tailbone, and now look up to the sky. If you want to go a little further, you can see if you can release your left arm and take it up for a stretch. Keep the tuck of the tailbone, send your right ribs forwards. Well done. Take a breath here. Melt those right ribs forwards. Good. One more. Lovely, well done. Nice and slowly release your left arm, release the right foot, taking the hands down, and you can stretch out by straightening the front leg, walk the hands back, send the hip back, and then just move slowly into a bit of a fold. Up to you how much of a fold you go into. Press your lower back backwards. Use some of that core strength, and maybe go a little deeper into that fold. Lovely, one more breath. Excellent, well done. Nice and slowly shift forwards, hands go down, lift the hips, feet back. Shift forwards and down. Again, you might look forwards, lead with the chest, lower to the ground. Take the feet nice and wide, hands go wide again, or even forwards. Elbows nice and high, shoulder blades together. When you're ready, start to peel chest, belly off the ground. Then roll the shoulders down the back towards the hips. Then melt the chest, ribs forwards, 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 and down. Hands go in. Tuck the toes, tabletop position. Take a breath. All right, let's melt the chest forwards and down again. So one of the things you can do is actually drop your chest through, so shoulder blades come towards each other. Hands can go a little wider, fingers turned out. And now start to send your ribs forwards and look forwards. Now a little tuck of the tailbone, just a little, and then see if you can look up a little bit more. So getting that deep stretch of the front of the body, the belly, chest coming forward, shoulder blades together. Might feel a little awkward. We're trying to get our back bend, just so you can feel it in different positions, basically. Well done. Take a breath. Excellent, well done. Nice and slowly release, pushing to down dog. Lift up, press back, find the length where you need it, whether it's arms, sides, through the mid back, upper back, lower back. Press the lower back to the sky to feel the front of the body kick in. Lovely, well done. All right, let's go for other side. So right foot steps forwards. Dropping that left knee down to the floor and just sinking into the hip. Lean forwards, hands on blocks to help you, or you can get really low. See how it feels. Stretching out. So whenever we start getting into back bends, we're basically trying to stretch the front of the body. So we try to stretch the hip flexors to help, stretch the thighs. We try to stretch the front of the belly, and then that opening of the chest and the ribs, and even the front of the neck as well, which is why we're looking up quite a lot. All right, when you're ready, try to come up a little bit higher onto the fingertips, and then try to melt the chest forwards, lift the ribs, and then maybe look up. See how it feels. Shorten the stance if you want to. If you don't like the back knee down, you can even do this with the back knee lifted. Modify as you need to. We're trying to get that chest to lift. Little tuck of the tailbone if you need to. Think about those shoulders going down the back, lifting the chest. Take a couple of breaths here. Well done. So it should be challenging to breathe. Usually is with these chest openers. Good. 2 more. Excellent. 1 more. Lovely. Well done. Nice and slowly. You might come up slightly. Move the knee further back if you want to go further into this, or keep it forwards, and then rest your right elbow on top of your right thigh. Then slowly you're going to start to try and bend the back knee, see if you can pick up that back foot. So lift it up, point through the toes, take the pressure off the hamstring, or flex the foot to feel a little more engagement. And then we're going to start to turn the chest. So open the hip, turn the chest to the left, and now see if you can grab hold of your foot. All right, now slowly to go further, you start to send your left ribs forwards. You're trying to square the chest back forwards. Again, you might point through the toes on that back foot, or you might flex the foot. Eventually you can hook the toe into the inner elbow or into your wrist, but try to melt those ribs forwards. You might get the quad thigh stretch, that quad stretch maybe. Well done. Melt the chest, ribs forwards and down. Good work. 1 more here. Well done. And then if you keep pressing into the right foot, you might even be able to stretch that right hand up to the sky. Little tuck of the tailbone, maybe lifting up, looking up. So lift the chest, lift the ribs, look up to the sky. 2 breaths. Good. 1 more. Excellent. Well done. Nice and slowly release your right arm, release your left. Leaning forwards, take the pressure off. Maybe shift the hip back, shift the hands, and straighten the leg, little fold. Good work. Press the lower back backwards. So you feel that stretch. Deep breath. Good work. Well done. Nice and slowly release. Hands go down, feet all the way back. Lead with the chest, so look forwards or even up. All the way down. All right, we're going to try and get our last little bit of chest opening, then we'll do our core work. So take your feet out and wide, and just have your elbows out in front, and then pull your ribs forward, so you're stretching your belly to start a little bit of prep work. All right, from here, I'm going to try to go for a little bit of a cobra pose. So if you come up onto your elbows, and you can make fists with the hands, sometimes that helps rather than having hands down. So we'll do fists to start with. Now, press the tops of the feet down, knees lift, glutes engage, really important. And now try to think about pulling your elbows to your hips and your hips to your elbows. So it might be a little bit sort of mid-back that you're feeling it. Tuck under with the tailbone to take it out of the lower back. Feel the ribs lift maybe, and try to send your front ribs forwards. As you do, look up to the sky. Well done. And work here. So shoulders pull to the hips as well. Melt the chest forwards and up if you can. It'll feel like they're going down, but keep them forwards. Keep looking up, chin up. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Well done. Release nice and slowly. Release the hands down in front if you want to, and then rest the head to one side. Take a nice deep breath here. Relax the whole body. So often it's very difficult to breathe or take that big inhale when you're doing your chest openers. So as long as you get those deeper breaths in between, just allow yourself to get that oxygen back into the body. That deeper breath will help. All right, couple more. I'm going to take the feet all the way out again. Press into the tops of the feet, knees lift, tuck the tailbone. Now, keeping the ribs forwards, take your hands back behind you onto your lower back. Chest might be lifted, clasp the fingers together, elbows high, shoulders come up to the ears. Now take the hands up as high as they'll go. As you start to straighten the arms, you're going to start to send your hands towards your toes. That's going to help you to take the pressure off the shoulders, the neck, and now look up to the sky, lifting up as high as you can. Keep the feet pressing down and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Exhale, release. Take a breath. Deeper breath. Well done. One more. Good work. All right, we're going to do that one more time, but we're going to go for our difficult clasp, so the one that's a little harder to get. Pressing down into the feet, it does make a difference to your upper back muscles. So again, lift the chest, lift the ribs, take the hands back behind you and clasp your fingers. You might just go straight away for your natural clasp. So then switch it up so the other index finger is over the other one. And again, hands towards or fingers towards the lower back, elbows go high. Now start to send the hands up high as they'll go. And just before you straighten the arms, then you can start to lift the head, lift the chest, send the fingers towards the toes, keep the knees lifted, glutes engaged, and then shoulders move towards the feet. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, keep breathing, 3, 2, and 1. Good work, well done. Exhale, release. Tabletop position. So you just go back into that neutral spine. Take a breath. Well done. Downward facing dog. That'd be really tempting to go into child's pose, but try to avoid it for now. And then all the way into your down dog first, just to neutralize the spine. Just get that nice gentle stretch of the lower back. Good work. All right, nice and slowly coming through to seated. And do a little bit of core work. All right, feet all the way out in front. I'm going to come down onto your back. So onto your back when you're ready. Lovely. And then a couple of things, you can use these tips in core drills as well. But if you lift your head, lift your chest, you're going to take your hands to the back of the head and just get a little bit of a stretch of the back. So we're trying to stretch out now. Hands on the back of the head. And then what you're trying to do is almost feels like you're in bridge pose, but with the head and chest lifted. Imagine your pubic bone trying to pull towards your head. As you do, you might be able to lift the head, lift the chest a little bit higher. So I haven't lifted the back in any way. It's almost like I'm trying to tuck under with the tailbone more and pull the pubic bone towards the head. So front of the body kicks in. You're going to hold this here for 5, 4. Try breathing through it. 3, 2, and 1. Keep up nice and high and send both hands over to your left knee or as far as you can. So you might have palms together, you might clasp the hands, whatever you can do, and hold it there for 5, 4. Keep holding the pubic bone towards the head. 3, that's the challenge. 2, and 1. Well done. Hands back to the head. Hold it there. Another 5. Keep pulling pubic bone towards the head. 4, 3, 2. Hopefully feeling it. 1. Last one. I'm going to take the left hand over to the outside of the right knee and the right hand as well. Hold that there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Hands to the back of the head and lower the head and chest and the back of the chest all the way down. Hands up and over the head. Stretch the front of the body. Maybe a little arch into the back. And take a breath. Deeper breath. Good work. All right, from here, bring both knees in towards you, so that lower back gets a nice stretch out. And then hug your left knee in towards you. And if you can, it's almost like you're trying to tuck your tailbone so it's trying to peel off the ground. Take the knee a little bit wider as well to get into the hip, and then take your right leg up to the sky. If you can, you're going to try and take your right foot over the top of the head. So it's not going up to the ceiling, you're actually trying to take it over the head. So that lower back is trying to peel off the ground. You're going to hug in and hold this here. Maybe straight right leg as well. Hold it there for 5, 4, keep pulling the right foot towards you. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Nice and slowly release, switch it over, pull your right knee in, left leg goes high, straight leg point through the toes, and again try to peel that lower back off the ground by pulling your right knee in, and then send the left foot over the top of the head if you can. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Pull both knees in this time. If you want, you can get that arms up and over, get that stretch. Take a breath. Lovely, well done. And then our last one that we'll try with our core is crow pose, but on your back. So you're going to take your knees wide, pull them in towards you with your hands, and you should feel like the lower back starting to peel off the ground as you pull in. You're going to try to hold that in yourself by using your lower core and your hip flexors. Now lift the head, lift the chest, and see if you can keep your thighs glued in as you take your hands to the sky. You might get your upper arms to the back of it, to the tops of the knees maybe. Squeeze your heels towards your glutes, keep everything hugging in. I'm going to hold this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work, well done. Release all the way down. Take the feet all the way out and away. Straight legs maybe. Feet a little bit wider, and then arms up and over the head. Take that nice deep stretch out at the front of the body, that chest opener. And take a couple of deeper breaths. Well done. One more. All right, up to you. You can stay here for a couple of extra breaths if you want to, or you're going to rock up to seated and work through a vinyasa. Up to you. If you feel like you need that up dog stretch or you need a down dog stretch, go for that. Then we'll have a little go at doing a bit of a closing sequence, but I'll give you some options. Nice, got some nice up dogs going on, got some wide ones. You can do the low ones, you can even do those hands back and behind, those shoulders working down the back. You just want to feel like those ribs are trying to lift upwards and forwards. That's the key, especially in those up dogs. Looking good, really nice. Well done. Excellent. All right, so options, you can have a go working on your headstand, good core strength, hip flexor strength, upper body strength. You can have a go at doing a bit of a back bend, so you might work into your wheel or crab pose, well, that's what we used to call it, isn't it? Wheel or bridge pose, or you can have a go at doing a more relaxing chest opener. So if you're enjoying the chest openers, get something like a rolled up mat that goes down the spine, taking those hands wide, or if you want the challenge, you can take the arms over the top of the head and just hold on to each elbow, or even stretch the arms up and over. So have a little go with that. But a couple of options. So if you want a more relaxing one, you might try that. You might try wheel or crab. I don't know why I keep calling it crab, but I feel like somebody's been talking to me about that one, but that's what we used to call it at school. But it's the back bend. But bridge pose works just as well. I'm going to try and do 3 sets of bridge, more with the intention of trying to get the chest opener. I know typically we do more of a glute bridge and use some of that core, but entirely up to you. I'm going to do 3 sets of 5 if you want to join me on those, and then we'll have a little go at trying to work towards wheel. So if you're coming into your bridge, make sure your feet are hip width apart, toes turned out slightly. I know a lot of people try to straighten the inside of the feet, which is fine to do, but it's not the most important thing. So it might be something that once you feel like you've got used to doing quite a lot in terms of your wheel or your bridge, then you might want to start to straighten it up. But don't feel like it's something you need to work on from the get-go. All right, so with your first bridge, take the hands over the top of the head and you can bend the elbows, tuck under with the tailbone, and then start to press into the feet to lift the hips. Now start to lift your ribs as well. So you almost feel like you're coming onto your shoulders, back of the head. And now try to send your hips and your ribs towards your head. And see if you can hold there. Take a breath. You might feel a little restricted in the shoulders, so don't necessarily need to go to your furthest point, but you're just trying to feel the chest open. Now squeeze the glutes so the glutes are nice and strong. Take a breath. And just notice your breathing in this position. I'm going to try and hold this one here for 5. Try and use the power in the feet if you can. Send the hips up and then towards the head. Ribs go the same way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Exhale, release down. This time take the hands down and have the palms facing upwards. We're going to try to work the shoulders into it this time. So as you lift the hips, try to get the hands to go in towards each other, and you have to kind of shuffle on your shoulders, and then you might be able to clasp your fingers together, or just keep those elbows digging into the ground, palms facing up. Now start to lift the hips and the ribs towards the head. Squeeze the glutes strong into the feet, especially the inner feet, and see if you can lift those ribs towards the head. Hold that there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release the hands, slowing it all the way down. Take a breath. Notice how it feels and notice where you feel it. All right, last one, we're going to try to go onto the top of the head. So if you've got anything in the back of your head, like a bobble or anything like that, you can just move it out of the way. You want to be able to roll from the back of the head to the crown of the head. So you can bring your feet in a little bit closer and then slowly start to lift the hips. Take the hands down by the shoulders, spread the fingers nice and wide, and you want the elbows coming in, so fingers turned out slightly. Then see if you can start to slide from the back of the head to the top of the head, and then lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, and you can stay here for 5. You can put a little bit of weight into the hands if you want to. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, release by sliding from the back of the head to the top of the head, top of the head to the back of the head, and then onto your back. Good work. Well done. So wherever you're at, just have a stretch out. If you're coming down from your headstand, think about how you're coming down and then just releasing maybe into child's pose. You might be resting on your back or on your front. And just taking a couple of deeper breaths. Or just taking your time to come out of your inversion. And one more breath. Good work. And then we're pretty much ready for our Shavasana. So if you want to move towards a vinyasa first, stretch out. You might want to hug in and just ease out the lower back that way. You might want to get an extra stretch up and over. Or you might want to just get yourself ready for Shavasana. So whatever you need. If you are moving through a vinyasa, you might move a little more slowly. You might think about the breath, slowing down a little. Getting that stretch out wherever you need. And nice and slowly, just start to make your way towards Shavasana. Feel free to grab an extra layer, keep warm. Maybe pop something over your eyes or turn your lights down, just whatever you need. Once you're ready, just get yourself nice and comfortable on your back. You might have the feet a little bit wider, or you might even have something underneath the feet just to keep the feet a little higher or the calves a little higher. Maybe try and feel that lower back against the earth, shoulders nice and soft. Palms facing upwards if you can. Hopefully feels a little easier to do this after all those chest openers, but sometimes it can feel a little tight. So palms facing up, elbows bent in slightly towards the ribs. Just allows the shoulders to soften. Might tuck the chin, close the eyes. And just take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. And just allow your feet to relax. Your ankles, calves, knees and thighs. And just allowing your hips to feel heavy, to sink down deeper and deeper into the earth. And as you let go of the lower back, mid back, maybe relaxing your belly. Allow your upper back to soften, sink down. Shoulders, arms, elbows, wrists. Relax the back of the head. Maybe even relax the face. To let go of the breath. Let go of the body. And let go of the mind. And nice and slowly, just start to bring a little awareness back to the breath and the body. Maybe a deep breath in, big sigh out. Maybe feel a little more movement into the fingers, the toes, wrists, the ankles, just whatever your body needs. Maybe a nice deep stretch with the arms up and over to lift the chest, stretch the front of the body. Maybe taking a deeper inhale as you do. Maybe pulling the knees into the chest and just easing out the lower back, mid back. And taking the time to come back to seated when you're ready. And just taking a moment, maybe with the eyes closed, shoulders soft. Just taking time to think about how you feel in the body and the mind. Good luck. Well done, everybody. Namaste. Well done. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed that. I shall see you all soon. Core drills in the mornings. Maybe I'll see you then. See you later. And Ashtanga tomorrow night. See you later. Thank you. Bye.